As a kid, man, I loved it that everybody had their own little logo and graphic. We saw one
Yes.
for Hillbilly Jim. Here's the one for Andre. Do you recall who perhaps was responsible for making those graphics and logos that really became identifiers for each individual talent?
I do not, but I know it was somebody, that worked in graphics in the back. I don't know who it
Sure.
was, to be honest with you.
I heard from Sean Mooney this past week. What a
Yeah.
nice guy he is, man.
Yeah, he reached out to me too, and just wanted to say, "Hey, congratulations on, on your career," and yeah, man, I think about this a lot. I think about at my age how fortunate I am to still be relevant in the business, you know? And I
You're a
think
lot more than relevant in the business, man.
yeah,
You're the voice of AEW. I know you would argue that, but I think most people would not. I mean, with all due respect to Taz and Excalibur and JR and all the other great folks, you're sort of the jack of all trades where you're on almost every show. So
yeah.
you're inescapable. If you're an AEW fan, you're a Tony Schiavone fan.
Well, I appreciate that. I certainly do appreciate the fan support I get when I go out. And I do take time to say hello to the fans.
This is the debut of the Genius. We've been getting vignettes for the Genius for several weeks, maybe 5 or 6 weeks at this point, I'd guess. But this is the first time we're actually going to see him wrestle a match. He's going to be wrestling Jim Powers here. And I think the ring announcer, I'm not sure, but I think that's fucking Mel Phillips.
Oh my God.
I didn't get a good look at him, but it was an African American ring announcer in 1989, and I'm just guessing that had to be him. Did you? I know we don't talk about uncomfortable, not so great stuff, but had you heard rumors about him back in that era or no?
Not till afterwards. No.
Yeah,
And now it's kind of unfortunately, just a kind of a running joke.
it wasn't a joke to those folks.
No, it wasn't.
They went here like every month, the Boston Gardens, and this one was filmed April 22nd, 1989. It was actually televised on NESN, and you and Lord Alfred Hayes are doing commentary for the show.
Wow.
It's
This may have been the date where we did and that is Mel Phillips, by the way. This may have been the date where we did the Boston Garden at night, Madison Square Garden during the day.
There were 3 shows that day. There was one at the Philadelphia Spectrum,
Okay.
and that was 14,089 fans, and there was
Uh-huh.
one in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and then this one in Boston. So 3 shows that day
Okay.
in Philly, in Winston-Salem, and in Boston.
Yeah. Okay. So this wasn't the day, but we would all go out to dinner afterwards. Me and Nelson Swegler, and I can't remember. Bruce may have been with that too, because we would drive from Connecticut to Boston and then go to dinner afterwards at this great Italian restaurant where it may not be there, really close to the garden. And if you're watching on video, you can see that that Scout is here, and she is causing us a lot of trouble. Come here, girl. Hey, stop it. Come here. She, as always, causes problems. Hey, what do you do? Get away from here. Sorry.
Do you have to
There's
use a daddy voice like that with talent sometimes? Get your ass in here and do this pre-tape, that sort of thing.
uh, I don't use yeah, kind of, but I do it sometimes to uh,
In a funny way, not in a mean.
okay. I'm not telling you who I was talking to the other day, but we were trying to get this talent to do their pre-tape, and they were fucking with me, and they were ready, and so I was shouting where everybody could hear. I said, "Could you get your fucking ass fucking over here to do the fucking pre-tape?" And they said, "Hey, we're fucking ready." I said, "Well, you know what? We're ready, and it doesn't look like you're there." So that's kind of how I say it sometimes.
I love you for that.
Yeah, I do. So, and you've seen me give people shit in the back.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
and I was not the type of person that gave people a lot of shit until I met you. And then I learned the master work, and I thought, okay, that sounds pretty good. I'll try this.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's easy, it keeps everything lighthearted, it moves it along. Makes the day go faster. Laughing makes the day go faster.
I know.
Lanny Poffo here, man. It's his debut match against Jim Powers. You know, Lanny Poffo was it was an interesting gimmick. You know, I mean, I didn't necessarily love when he wore the suit of armor and threw frisbees, but the Genius, this was heat. He's going to come out and read poetry, and I mean, I remember as a kid hating the Genius, so he did his job very well. But
Yeah.
it felt like when Randy went to WCW, they never did anything with him over there. I mean, he got the Gorgeous George trademark and dyed his hair, and it never really worked out. Did you spend any time with Lanny at all in WCW? Did you see him hanging around or any of that?
I would just say hello to him and talk to him. The most time I really got to spend with Lanny Poffo was he and I were doing an autograph signing and at a let's see, we were in New Jersey, and then we went to Staten Island, did an autograph signing. It's where I met Thunder Rosa and the Twisted Sisters, and we went out to eat, and he and I did a lot of talking then. And he was talking about his time at WCW, and he realized that the only reason he got a paycheck was because of his brother. And he said, I was cool with that. He said, so I make no bones about it. But that's the only time I got to spend with. Then of course Lanny died, shortly thereafter.
He finished up with the WWF in November of 92. He would pop back up for one house show in June of 94 in Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
He worked a whopping one show for WCW. It was a WCW Saturday night taping in Fort Myers, Florida in October of 97. And that was it. Just independent shots from then on. But he's one of those guys where I can't help but think there was a missed opportunity. He could have done more.
Yep.
He didn't have to just be Randy's brother who got a paycheck. And
Right.
by the way, I know people begrudge that and sort of make fun of that and all that. But doesn't that go to tell you how much Randy loved and took care of his family? Because realistically, the way that went was, hey, Randy, we can pay you this amount. Can you pay me a little less and give the difference to my brother? I mean, that had to be otherwise, no business guy would go with, okay, yeah, that works. They knew this is our investment in Randy. We just got to factor it in. Either Randy's worth that or not. And Randy's work and reputation and effort, it provided a lifestyle for his brother. I mean, I don't think Randy gets enough praise for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that I don't begrudge them at all for that. When Lanny told me this story, I didn't like, oh, really? You really got paid for doing nothing? Hey, if you take a look at what's going on in wrestling today, okay, there's a lot of people out there getting a lot more money than Lanny Poffo did and doing a lot less.
Right.
I'm telling you that right now with us and with them, with WWE. It's kind of the nature of the business right now. So that's the way it is. I'd like to also say hello to Coach Keith Morrison, who's with us. Brooke McGaw, my goddaughter, came on and chased her husband Patrick away so he would finally do some work today. Thank you, Brooke.
We need him doing something.
Yeah, because he obviously does nothing.